Roberto Duran fought 119 professional fights across 5 decades. He destroyed legends with brutal power and unmatched ferocity. But three opponents pushed hands of stone to his absolute breaking point, testing his will like never before. One fight changed his entire life. Let's reveal Duran's toughest battles. Number 1. Ken Buchanan, June 26, 1972. Madison Square Garden, New York City. Roberto Duran faced Ken Buchanan for the WBA lightweight championship. Duran was 21 years old, undefeated at 28, and hungry to prove himself. Buchanan was the champion, skilled, experienced, and heavily favored at 2-1 odds. This wasn't supposed to be close. Duran himself later said it best. The toughest fight of my career was Ken Buchanan because I had to travel. It was 15 rounds, and it was his title. Those words came decades after the fight, but they carried the weight of truth. From the opening bell, Duran came forward like a storm. He smothered Buchanan, grabbing him, hitting him to the body, working his way up to the head. Buchanan tried to box, tried to use his jab, tried to create distance, but Duran wouldn't let him breathe. Round after round, Duran pressured him against the ropes, attacking from every angle. In the first round, Duran landed a massive right hand that sent Buchanan tumbling. His gloves touched the canvas to break his fall. The referee ruled it a flash knockdown and gave Buchanan a standing 8 count. Buchanan survived, but the tone was set. This was going to be a war. Buchanan fought back with everything he had. His jab kept finding Duran's face. His footwork created angles. His experience showed in the later rounds. But Duran never stopped coming. He threw 60 punches per round, landing clean shots to the body and head. The judges had him winning clearly. By the 13th round, Duran was ahead 8-3-1, 9-2-1, and 8-3-1 on the 3 scorecards. Then the controversy happened. As the bell rang to end round 13, both fighters kept throwing punches. Duran landed a devastating blow below the belt. Buchanan collapsed to the canvas, grabbing his groin in agony. He couldn't continue. The referee stopped the fight and declared Duran the winner by technical knockout. Buchanan protested. He insisted the punch was low, that it came after the bell, that he deserved protection. Medical examiners confirmed swelling of the right testicle. Buchanan later said the low blow dented my protector and metal burst into my right ball. I was peeing blood for days. But the result stood. Roberto Duran became the WBA lightweight champion at 21 years old. 30 years later, in 2002, Duran finally met Buchanan again. They embraced and wept together. In private, Duran acknowledged the low blow and apologized. Buchanan said, "As soon as I heard that, I felt a great weight had been lifted off my shoulders." That fight tested Duran like no other. Buchanan's skill, intelligence, and toughness pushed the young champion to his absolute limit. Number 2. Sugar Ray Leonard, June 20th, 1980. Olympic Stadium, Montreal. Roberto Duran challenged Sugar Ray Leonard for the WBC welterweight championship in front of 46,317 screaming fans. Leonard was undefeated at 27-0. The golden boy of boxing, the Olympic hero returning to the city where he won gold. Duran was the dangerous challenger, the former lightweight king who had moved up in weight. The pre-fight tension was brutal. Duran insulted Leonard at every press conference, mocking his wife, getting into his head. Leonard told the media he would kill Duran during the fight. His trainer Angelo Dundee warned him to box smart, to use his speed and movement, but Leonard wanted to prove something. He wanted to fight Duran's fight. That was his mistake. From the opening bell, both men went to war. Leonard abandoned his slick boxing style and stood flat-footed, trading punches with Duran in the center of the ring. Duran pressed forward, constantly, cutting off the ring, landing brutal body shots. Leonard fired back with combinations, refusing to back down. Round after round, they battled at close range. Duran threw 60 punches per round and landed 21. Leonard threw 50 punches per round and landed 18. The crowd roared as both men refused to give an inch. Duran cornered Leonard repeatedly, pinning him against the ropes and punishing him with power shots. By the middle rounds, Leonard started adjusting. He began using his footwork more, circling away from Duran's pressure, landing clean counters. But Duran had built a massive lead early. No matter how well Leonard boxed in the later rounds, he couldn't make up the deficit. The final bell rang after 15 brutal rounds. Both men stood exhausted, blood and sweat covering their faces. When the judges' scorecards were read, Duran won by unanimous decision. 145 to 144, 148 to 147, and 146 to 144. Sugar Ray Leonard suffered the first defeat of his professional career. Duran later said, "He is the best I have fought. He hit me hard a couple of times, but I was never in bad shape. He was pretty good, but he had to be because he was fighting me." 5 months later, they fought again in New Orleans. This time, Leonard boxed intelligently, used his speed, and frustrated Duran completely. In the 8th round, Duran quit, turning his back and waving his glove. "No mas," he said. "No more." The most infamous moment in boxing history. But that first fight in Montreal remains one of Duran's greatest victories. He beat the undefeated champion, handed Leonard his first loss, and proved he could compete with anyone at any weight. The mental warfare, the physical battle, and the sheer intensity made it one of the toughest fights of his legendary career. Number 3. Marvin Hagler, November 10th, 1983. Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas. Roberto Duran challenged Marvelous Marvin Hagler for the undisputed middleweight championship. This was Duran's chance to make history, to become the first fighter ever to win titles in 4 weight divisions. But Hagler stood in the way, bigger, stronger, and undefeated as middleweight champion. Duran was the 4-1 underdog. Hagler had a 2.5-inch height advantage and an 8.5-inch reach advantage. The champion had knocked out his last 7 opponents. Experts predicted Hagler would destroy Duran before the final bell. Nobody expected what happened next. From the opening round, Duran shocked everyone. Instead of fighting on the inside like he always did, he boxed from the outside. He used movement, slipped punches, and countered with sharp right hands. Hagler looked confused, waiting for Duran to come forward, but Duran stayed at half distance and picked his shots. Round after round, Duran frustrated the champion. He made Hagler miss, countered cleanly, and scored points. Hagler's corner screamed at him to pressure Duran, to cut off the ring, to impose his will. But Duran was too crafty, too experienced. He glided left and right, bobbed under punches, and made Hagler look ordinary. By the 13th round, Duran was ahead on all 3 judges' scorecards. He had outboxed the most feared middleweight in the world. The crowd of 14,600 was on its feet, chanting "Duran." 2,000 Panamanians waved flags, believing history was about to be made. Then Hagler's corner told him the truth. "You have to win the last 2 rounds or you lose the title." Hagler unleashed everything he had left. In rounds 14 and 15, he attacked with fury, landing heavy punches, pushing Duran back, refusing to let him escape. Duran fired back, but his body was exhausted from fighting a bigger man for 14 rounds. When the final bell rang, the judges' scorecards were razor thin. 146 to 145, 144 to 143, and 144 to 142, all for Marvin Hagler. Duran lost by the smallest of margins. After the fight, Hagler's face was covered in blood from cuts. Duran's right hand was swollen and injured from the 5th round. Both men had given everything they had. Duran never got his rematch, never became a 4-division champion that night. But he earned something more valuable. He proved he could compete with anyone, at any weight, at any time. Marvin Hagler himself said it best. "Duran is the toughest opponent I ever faced. He made me work harder than anyone." If you enjoyed this deep dive into Roberto Duran's toughest battles, smash that like button and subscribe for more untold boxing stories. Drop a comment telling us which fight shocked you the most. We've got more legends coming your way, so don't miss out. Thanks for watching.